It is connected. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. You and I. So let's see. It's Monday, and it was a busy week last week. A lot of things happened. I put out the open letter to Lift show, and the day prior, I had heard from SiFly and more conversations with the guys at Glide Water Sports. They would like to work with me a bit more, having me try out some more of the Ultra L2 with some different setups, some things that are a little more geared for speed and performance, which is cool. But yeah, SiFly said they would send me a Stellar X to review, and the senior marketing manager at Lift said he would grant my request of being sent a yellow Lift5 Pro to demo, and he would also like to send me the Lift X to demo. And that's interesting because it's marketed for wave riding, which I'm on a lake, so we're gonna get to try it out. They said they wanted my feedback on it, so I'll happily give it. Anyway, that's exciting. So pretty much all the major brands have responded. Waydo, I'm not exactly sure. We kind of left that out. I wasn't sure which model to send, and kind of part of the integrity trials is, for me to say to a brand I've never ridden before, hey, what's your highest performance board? Yeah, your most nimble board that does these kinds of things. Yeah, I want that. Send that to me. Anyway, yeah, so I'm pretty much, looks like I'm going to be testing all major brands. I went to FoilFest on Saturday, and it was awesome. It's hosted by this really cool, my first eFoil friend that I ever made. The first friend I ever made through eFoiling. Just a guy who watched one of my very early videos, and he said, hey, I recognize that lake, I think. So let's get together, go riding. I mean, this is 5 seasons ago. And he said, and so he came out and we rode together. We've been friends ever since. Anyway, he hosts on the lake he lives on. He hosts this FoilFest. And he's on his it's fifth one, and so I went out there on Saturday and had a really good time. I honestly didn't ride that much. I rode a bunch on the Ultra L2, and then I rode on this guy named Charlie, really cool guy, really good rider. He owns a Ultra, and I traded with him for a bit, and he took my board out, and I took his board out and tried the Ultra, and that was a good ride because I've never actually felt one of the more higher performance flight boards with an actual unshrouded prop, and wow, that was awesome. I'm glad I got to feel that. I got to try a smaller wing. I got to try the 900. That was awesome. Yeah, so I really can't wait to try the Ultra L2 with a prop and with a really good race wing, on it. I got a feeling that's just gonna kick holy ass. So awesome. Let's see. I rode a bunch of boards. Brooke put me on this crazy ride. So ready? It's an F3, so it's heavier than I would like it to be and bigger than I'd like it to be, with I think it had a camber 210 on there, so a bigger wing than I would like it. But the reason I took it out is because he found a 38-inch mast, and he claims he's one of 11 people who own one of those. So I was like, yeah, I like tall masts. Well, I tried that thing, and man, I could not wield it at all. It was terrible. And I came in, he was laughing his ass off. So I kind of feel like I got punked on that one. But if so, well played, Brooke. I have something planned for you. Brooke got up on the Ultra L2. I was excited for him to try it. Once he finally got up, he felt it. He, you know, and it had a jet on it, unfortunately. And but yeah, no, you can imagine what it's going to be like when you get a prop on there. But it's still good even with a jet on there. That's what's impressive. Let's see. So Glide Water Sports was at this FoilFest. So we had Flite boards. We had Beth from Zen Water Sports there, and she was giving lessons and stuff on lift. I met the new regional manager for Lift. He's like brand new, like brand new, it seems like. And so that's cool. I have great hopes for him. There was a Lift X there, owned by a guy named Dave. Not the same Dave that used to be the regional distributor for Lift. I think it's another guy named Dave. Anyway, I tried to meet him, but he was like not having it. So I never got a chance to try it. And there was Beth had her Lift5 Sport there, but it was bricked. It wasn't working, so I was not able to try it. But the very nice person who was working the Lift booth was sure happy to show us how easily the components snapped in there. But not a functional board that day, so not sure what's up with that. Anyway, no one had a Lift 5 there, I think, of any kind. I didn't see any functional Lift 5s there. There was a Lift X that was, I think, in the water sometimes, but whenever I saw it, it was just up on a stand, like being displayed. I don't recall. I don't think I saw any Lift 5 models. It was all mostly Lift 4. A few people with Flite boards, and I would say it might be the first time a lot of the Lift riders got a chance to try Flite, because Glide Water Sports was there, and that was good. I think it's good that people get a chance to try both. I did a few sessions on Flite boards, and I did one session on Brooks. I'm going to call it Brooks punk board, the board he punks people with. And then I took a pretty long session, probably about 50% of a battery on my trusty Lift4 Pro. Yeah, I rode around with a bunch of people. It was really fun, really good time. But I was busy answering questions all day. I was busy hooking people up with different rides. Like, a lot of people were there. I would say a lot of Lift riders had started on a Sport, or maybe even a larger board, and they were very curious about, should I change out my wings or should I get a smaller board? And I'm like, yeah, I both. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people could switch down to a Camber Pro 160, or, you know, some of them were on 200s or 150 Sports. Maybe they were ready to go to 100s. So I actually, most of the time my board was in the water, it was being ridden by other people who had never tried a Pro. I had one of the few Pros there, and so people were all wanting to try a Pro. Some people couldn't get up on it at all, and to be honest with you, those were people that weren't ready, and I could tell they weren't going to get up on it the very minute that that I was giving them instructions on how to get up on it. You know, here's how you can tell someone's not going to be able to get up on a Pro. It's usually a guy. You're telling them instructions like how fast you got to go, where your body position needs to be, how it has to slide forward. And what they do is they nod and they say, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. And you can tell they're not really listening to you. And then I would watch them like, that guy's he's never getting up. And I wish there was a way for me to remote control my board back end, mostly so I could give it to someone who is going to listen. But I watched that several times. Just people just like totally not listening and going out there and trying to ride it, get up on it the way you'd get up on like their giant board, right? It doesn't work like that. Plus, I had on my board my race setup, so the 32 Glide. Now, the ones who could get up on it, I could tell they were going to get up on it. Like, I remember there were a couple girls that tried it, and they were younger, And I was like, you got to go really fast. Like, I'm not kidding around. Like, and they're like, yeah, that's what I want. My board's getting boring, and I want something faster, and I want something that carves harder. I'm like, well, that's going to give you that. But like, you know, normally I would say we should probably try you on a Camber Pro or something else. But like, you're going straight to the full race setup. The Pro board, tall mast, they've never been on before. Plus, you got the my race rig, right? So it's like as hard as it could be, I would say, for the most part. And yeah, when they listened, they were like, yep, they were able to get up to speed, and then they tried kneeling. Whenever I watch those people try to get up on a Pro and they're going way too slow, and then they're on their knees, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Yes, so I think that maybe in the future, when I'm going to loan my board out to people, especially at events like that, where there's kind of limited time and there's a lot of people that want to give it a whirl, I'm just going to kind of put people into a stack of like, oh, you go to the back of the line, you're not ready yet, because you're still nodding and saying yes before you've heard what's coming out of my mouth. Yeah. The ones that did get up on it, they were like, that board is... They said a lot like, that board is fast, that board is slippery, that board carves really well, or I can tell that when you know, if I put in the time on that board, it would really be amazing. And those are the people that got it. And I would say most people did. Most people got it. They would say, oh, it's kind of hard to get up on, but once I got it, yeah. Or that board is slippery, but wow, it's really agile. You know, they're going to get it, and they're ready for it. It ain't for people who want to go slow. It isn't for people who are afraid of going fast on the surface. Yeah. But I watched this one dude. He was out there forever, and just kept trying the same thing. And I was like, God, I want to send that guy a mental signal to like come in and get more instructions or whatever. Anyway, it was a really good event. I've never been around that many eFoils in real life before. There were more people than any other year. There were eFoils just lined up and down the beach. Most of them were lifts, Gen 4. Most of them are Gen 4s. Yeah, no, it's a really interesting time. I didn't see any SiFlys. And I didn't see any Weirdness this year. I've seen Weirdness there years past. I didn't see any this year. People are getting better at eFoiling. Like, I did notice that. Like, I've been to a lot of events where a lot of people are even just struggling to stay on foil and stuff. No, this time, like I said, that Charlie guy, I would say he's on his 5th year of eFoiling. And I mean, he hasn't raced or anything, but like, I would say he's as good as me, easily. He's got the moves. He's got really good balance. He knows how to carve. He's not afraid of going fast. I would expect to put him in a course and for him to get very good times after a day of just practicing turning when he has to instead of when he wants to. I'd say that's the biggest trick to racing. The reason that racing makes you really good at something is you are forced to turn where you're told to instead of when it feels right to you. And that turns you into a very proactive rider instead of a reactive rider. So yeah, no, people are a lot better than they used to be at the sport. And they're going a lot faster. I remember thinking a couple of years back, I was like, man, everyone's going too slow to really like this sport. And I heard for the first time, I'm getting a little bored. I think I've taken my board as far as I can go. And I'm getting it's just not as exciting as it used to be. I'm like, yup. Get to a pro and that won't happen. Because I've never been bored on this board. No pun intended. Let's go eFoiling, and maybe I'll keep talking at you. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. I mean, that's what this microphone's for. Let's turn my speed app on so I can get my speed. This is the 3rd time I've tried to get all my gear right and record everything. Twice my microphone let out, and then right now I just realized I don't have my stupid Apple Watch on me, so I can't get speed. And you know what? I'm done. I'm just gonna go in the water. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna talk. It probably won't record because it usually doesn't. And I'll have a conversation with you. I'm experimenting with a new addition to my course. I'm trying to set up a flush. A flush is 3 gates really close together that forces the racer to whip between them, and it's like high agility, and you want to of course hit it at as high speed as possible. But I loved, those were like my favorite part of like traditional alpine slalom, standard slalom, which is a slower kind of ski racing. We don't get much faster than about 30 miles per hour for that, but it has cool stuff like these tight agility angles to it, just like that. And I have been having so much fun in the race course that I keep adding new stuff to it, and I'm playing around with it. I want to build a course that, you know, kind of brings some nostalgia back from the days when I used to be a ski racer, and see if I can get some of my favorite parts of it back in there. So anyway, I'm trying to think. I had a really great conversation with nobody yesterday when I went out riding, and it just pissed me off when I came back, and I'm like, nope, no audio channel was recorded for some reason. But I did want to, you know, say a few things and see if I can remember kind of where I went with it. Oh, it feels so good. All right, so I left off with, I went to FoilFest, and I went to the 5th annual Brook's FoilFest in Lake Jane here in Minnesota, and it was bigger than ever before. I saw tons of eFoils, mostly Lift4s. I think I already talked about that in the intro. But what's interesting is a lot of people now recognize me, which is cool. I guess web famous, it doesn't bother me, nor does it really motivate me. It does make some conversations a little bit easier, like starting certain conversations. So the thing about web infamy is people know who you are even though you don't really know who they are, and that does not at all bother me. But it does kind of speed up, like I don't have to introduce myself to let them know it's cool to talk to me and get advice from me on, you know, what wing should you evolve to, you know, if you want to go a little faster, that kind of thing. So it's helpful in situations like that. But when it comes to that kind of thing, I've had that before in a much greater scale than this show. And it didn't really matter to me much. Then it doesn't really matter to me much now. I guess sometimes, and only in certain situations, it can be helpful, you know, when you're having a discussion with people, to kind of know, if everyone kind of knows your background and, you know, how many years you've been at it or whatever, like they know your opinions on things, or, you know, they know that you've researched something, it's helpful. Yeah, again, mostly because you don't have to explain yourself as much, right? If people know who you are, and if they trust you based on what they've learned about you from doing the show, then you can just kind of skip past all that. So last year I talked about keeping the show going all winter long, if I got to 1,000 subscribers, and yes, we are to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, my plan there was to travel mostly, and maybe I was going to take on a winter build. I was going to use my CNC machine, and I was going to build. I've been working on some blueprints and plans, 3D models for a new kind of eFoil of sorts. Let's hit this flush. That's a little too tight. I don't want to slow down quite that much to hit that. So anyway, that's what I was thinking about doing this winter. Is I would have maybe traveled a couple of times, gone eFoiling some different places, and then I would have maybe fill up the rest of the time with a build. So yeah, we gotta space that one out. But in the wintertime, I do like to go skiing often. And actually, my son, he lives in Detroit, he works for GM as a pre-visual design engineer. And so I don't get to see him as much as I would, like. So his favorite thing to do in the winter is like go skiing. So when he's got time, we go hunt some powder, somewhere. And last year I was like, yeah, where do you want to go skiing? And he said, I want to go to Snoqualmie. I'm like, you want to go what? I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, well, I'm dating this girl. She's in her first year residency at the hospital there, and I miss her. So I was like, fine, we'll go to Snoqualmie. So we skied Alpental and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, it was all right. I mean, there was no Winter Park, Park City, or Vail, or Aspen, which just wasn't my favorite. It just wasn't the best. But yeah, it was still a good time, got to hang out with my kid. So I get invited a lot from audience members to go visit them. And I don't know, maybe someday I'll tour around and do that. It'd be kind of a neat show, right? Visiting audience members, seeing where they ride, stuff like that. I tell you, I don't see me doing that anywhere but to the audience members who live somewhere very warm, because I do not leave here very often in the summertime. I mean, this is like, I get like 4 or 5 months where it is truly paradise here, and man, I've yet to find a better body of water for cleaner and nicer and as quiet and unpopulated as this, that it's hard for me to leave here. But yeah, I think in the wintertime, I could see myself that would be a cool tour, I think, to do that. But at the same time, like in the wintertime, my daughter, she'll go eFoiling. She likes eFoiling, but she wants to do it for like maybe an hour, right? She doesn't want to like go on a trip to Puerto Rico and eFoil every day. No, she'll eFoil with me for a little bit one day, and then she wants to have Mai Tais on the beach and with her friends. I mean, that's just what college kids want to do, and it's just who they are, and that's fine. My son, he can eFoil. He's okay with it. It isn't his favorite thing to do, but he would much rather go skiing with me, and so I just kind of have a feeling that my winters are going to be like largely spent looking for cool places to ski with him, especially since he's not dating this doctor anymore. we don't have to go back to Seattle to go skiing because it's not my favorite. No offense to everybody from Seattle, it just isn't. Those mountains are not my favorite. They just aren't. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at there, you know. It's hard. eFoiling in particular is hard to travel because you can't ship your batteries, and you know, it's hard to even trust you're gonna get your board there. They're so expensive. It's like it just feels like you're taking so much more of a risk than a pair of skis even, right? So I don't know. It would be cool to travel with your, you know, with your eFoil, but I'm not a real road tripper. I generally just don't have time for it. I don't have time to spend a couple of days traveling, you know. I pretty much have to fly and get as much out of it as I can, and I don't know, just how it is. So anyway, back to being internet famous, which I think is hilarious. It's kind of like saying the least of the famouses, right? But I mean, it is a real thing in the sense that, like, it basically means nobody outside your little niche would ever know who you are. Whereas if you were back in the days of mainstream media, maybe everybody knows who you are. Woohoo! There's Leo, my neighbor. And yeah, like I said, I have had it. This is eFoiling is a tiny little market, right? And like, I'm cool with that. Like, I do this because I love it. I'm not here to get rich or famous, right? I'm here because I love it, and I want to help introduce more people to it. Dude, we're flying over the water. Can everyone just imagine for a split second what it was like the first day that Nick Leeson got his eFoil rolling? I mean, that's essentially like the kid who built his own jetpack, right? Especially for a surf kid, right? He built his own jetpack. That's what every kid dreamt of. That's the pinnacle. I mean, it's so awesome. I'm flying over the water. I'm flying a wing, a submerged wing. And it's way more agile and more efficient and faster than like you would be able to do with the same power plant as a surface carving craft. It's so awesome. You know, like, I still cannot figure out how it is not caught on. It's just so much damn fun. And yes, I get it. It's the prices. It's too expensive. Still don't quite get that. It's just so much cheaper than anything I've done that gives this kind of a feeling. It's at least on par with it. But in most cases, it's actually significantly more affordable than all the ways I've done it. But yeah, back in the day, I had a couple of properties that were, well, just put it like this. They were in topics that had a much larger audience than eFoiling. And like, even just in my primary, profession, right? I mean, man, we'll put something up and throw it on TikTok, and we'll get 800,000 likes and 140 million views in a month. You know, right? Like, and I don't get it. Like, I don't even understand it. It's so damn short. It seems to have no value to anyone. But for some reason, you could just put anything up there and get a ton of views and likes and make money and be known and go viral and all that stuff. Whereas like you could work on a documentary for a year, release it on YouTube, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars making it, and maybe get 15,000 views. It's crazy. The world's broken in that way. I don't like that it's that way, but it's that way. Ooh, got some waves, sweet. I do not love how the Insta360 simply will not show waves. You can't see it like that. There's a video of Nick Leeson riding his Lift X, right? And he's on, I can tell he's on big, nice, big rollers, big waves. And, oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, and you can't see them. And I doubt you can see these. Can you see these? I don't think you can. Everything on the Insta360 flattens out waves, and it sucks about that. You just can't get it on an Insta. You just can't. Whoo, nice. Whoo, yeah. Cool. Anyway, yeah, so they're super fun to ride. Whoa, but like you can't do them justice on an Insta360. I don't know what it is. It flattens out everything like this. Like I'm on some like good 2-footers, right? Oh yeah. And oh. And I doubt they look like anything but a little ripple. Oh yeah. There, I rode that one too close to shore. Worry about trees over there. Let's see if I can get over these rollers. Oh, there's a bunch right here. Whoa, yeah. Get into the valley. Oh man, that feels cool. So yeah, anyway, it was super fun to go to FoilFest, and yes, like Verdant ride, the big news was that Lift said yes to sending me demo boards. Everybody was really excited about that. And I'm glad I did it. And there's a ton of people who are ready to graduate to the next step in their eFoil journey. And I'm kind of amazed that I didn't see anybody on like the next gen, right? And it could just be a matter of timing, like they all started maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and it's just now time for them to upgrade. But it could also be that they're weary. They're not sure what the next step is for them, right? They don't have the information yet. There are a lot of people very hungry for information that even I did not have. I at FoilFest I had not yet ridden the Lift X. I had not ridden the Lift5 Pro, still haven't as of this moment. And like, they really want to know. They really want to hear someone say, yeah, it's awesome. Or they really want to try it, I would say there's a lot of people that are on Lift Sports and are ready for a Lift Pro. So I really hope that for all these people, there's a good Lift Pro for them to go to. A lot of people are ready to go down from their starter wing to a more serious set of wings. I got a feeling that next summer, there's going to be a lot of people a lot better at eFoiling than there ever has been. That's what I'm getting a sense of. Like, people are getting good at eFoiling. A couple years ago, go to a FoilFest, you'd see most of the people are struggling to get on.
on foil. Nope, not anymore. These people are ready to carve. They're ready to go faster. They're ready to take it to the next step, and that I'm happy about, because I think the more people there are out there doing impressive things with their boards, doing things that look super exciting and fun. Exciting. You know, when you see someone riding an eFoil all slow and they're shaking, they're bent over, you see those ads where there's like some famous girl, I don't know what she does, maybe she's a freaking soccer player, I don't know what she does, I don't care, I don't follow sports, but she's all hunched over, she's going real slow, she's going real straight, she's all wobbly, right? And they got this music, and then they put on Slo-Mo. When people see that, it is the opposite of exciting. It looks awkward and it looks slow, and then they slow it down so it looks even slower, and it's like a thing that goes straight, which just eFoils can never show the world much going straight, because when you see it going straight, you make assumptions that it is some kind of not exciting thing. Carving is what makes them exciting. Going fast makes them exciting. You're like, well, not everybody wants to do that. Sure. Not everybody wants to do that. That's true. But let me ask you this. We did 3-4 years of marketing this kind of footage. Do you really think it kicked holy ass? Do you think it worked? Do you think eFoiling is as far along as it should be? And do you think that the marketing played any role at all in it? Do you? I mean, just judging from my audience alone, there are so many people who are like, oh, I'm on my second board, or I bought 2 boards right away based on watching your show. And if I could just, can I claim one thing? I think I did a good job of making eFoiling look exciting. Is that fair? Can anybody else like, no, it was super boring? Like, do I make eFoiling in general look like it's fun, like it's exciting, like it's fast? And like, come on, everybody knows you can go slow. I go slow in my videos too, like on my approach to the dock. But like, the big question is am I gonna be able to be excited? Am I gonna get to go fast? And so like, fine, maybe the marketing was perfect. It was just great. All those shots of girls in bikinis carrying boards was just the best marketing ever, and I don't know what I'm doing. Could we try a different approach? Fast, exciting, just try it. Just maybe there's a few people, that didn't buy simply because it didn't look exciting, and see if we can tap into that market maybe. Because let me tell you guys, if I'd seen the marketing for eFoils when I bought them, I don't think I would have bought them if I'd seen that kind of marketing. I frankly bought them and I barely saw anyone ride them. I bought them because my doctor gave me a death sentence. He pretty much sat me down. I was like, if you keep wakeboarding, competitively especially, you're going to be crippled. You're not going to walk anymore. You're going to not have a functional leg. Like, you won't have a knee that bends anymore. Like, beyond surgical repair. And this is the doctor who's like, oh, I never tell my patients what they can't do. He's like, I just tell them the ramifications of if they don't listen to me. And I believed him. And so like, dude, I went out and went shopping because I was like, I got to fill this void for this thing that I love, right? And like, I was like, I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'll find something I like and I'll figure out how to make it exciting. And I did. And especially when the Pro board was released, I knew that was it. And I was right. So yeah, but I just feel like if there's a group of people that know how to ride these hard and fast, so that every time someone's at a beach and they see an eFoil, they don't see this anymore. They see this. So if there's a whole bunch more people doing that, I just got a feeling kids are going to want them. Parents are going to be like, well, it's better than a jet ski. You know, like Johnny will learn. He'll have to practice and learn and get good at something. Parents generally like that for their kids. They like them to be challenged. I don't know. I just kind of have a feeling that that's the thing that's going to fly. That's the thing that's going to work. Could be wrong. I don't think it's going to do worse than some of the ads that I've seen for eFoils, especially when they put a celebrity athlete on a board with 1 day of practice and they are shaky as a newborn doe or fawn, and they don't know what they're doing, and it doesn't look fun, it doesn't look stable, it doesn't look like anything anybody would want to do. You got to be careful. These could very easily be misinterpreted as a cheap beach toy or some kind of weirdo unicycle pogo stick hybrid thing on the water. It could be considered a freak vehicle. You don't want that. You don't want to make it look like this is something that like people in the juggling club would really be into. No. And where's all the footage of Laird riding this thing, you know, hard as hell? Like whenever I see footage of him, he's always just like cruising around straight and waving at people, like he's in a ticker tape parade. Like I want to see him kick holy ass because I know he can kick holy ass. In fact, I'm struggling I feel like he's been cloned or something. Like, who's that guy? In fact, I think I would say most of the time it's really hard for Hamilton not to kick ass all the time, right? Like he just, that's his nature. I don't understand why. I keep looking for him kicking ass on an eFoil, and like, frankly, I see a couple of photos, stills here and there, but I rarely see video of him doing it. That's weird, right? Right? I think we're living in a simulation. This isn't making any sense.